Welcome to Touchpoints TV. I'm Debbie House, Executive Director of Content for Retail Touchpoints, and I'm here at the NRF Big Show with Tony Houldsworth, who's the CEO of Flooid. Welcome and thanks for joining us today.
You.
So you've just rebranded from PCMS to Flooid. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what the reception's been like so far?
Yeah, I mean, so Flooid is the culmination of the journey we've been on for the last few years. We've been investing in the technology, we've been leading the technology charge in our space, and we needed a name and a brand that represents that whole new way of doing retail, the whole new way of allowing retailers to go faster. So we looked at how we should do it, and Flooid just spoke to us because it's about how fluid retail needs to be. So we've rebranded the company, the products, and we've changed the way that we're working internally to match.
And it's a fun, I mean, if you look around the booth, it's a fun, fluid design, and I think that's being communicated also with the rebranding, I think.
Yeah, and the reception has been fantastic. I mean, we've had people coming by taking secret photos as they go by. We've had great feedback from our clients, from our prospects, from the analysts, from the partner community. So it's definitely working for us. You can't miss us.
Absolutely. So part of the announcement, in addition to the renaming, is about the Flooid Hub. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So Flooid is a collection of services. The heart of it is the thing that we call Flooid Core. That's the piece that we've been presenting and selling as our microservices platform. Effectively, that's the basket. But Flooid Hub is a way to allow our community of customers, partners, innovators to tap into our basket, into the core of our platform, without us having to get involved. So they can tap into our API sets, they can use our sandboxes to experiment, and they can innovate really quickly, and then they can try things, and when that works, they can bring that into the hub so that it can be given to other people in the community.
A little bit of a self-service
sort of, it's just like that. Yeah. So it's a kind. I hesitated to use the word marketplace because it's more than a marketplace. It's where do you go to learn how to find people who've done, to find solutions that you can bring into the ecosystem as quickly as possible.
It's more of a community.
It is, it is. And the whole point is retailers need to go fast. I don't want to be slowing them down. There are great solutions out here, some fabulous startups, but they've got no voice and they've got no way to bring that to the retailer. So with the hub, we can bring them into the hub and then we can expose them to some of the biggest retailers in the world.
All right, excellent. So anything you want to tell us about that we should be expecting from Flooid moving into the near future? Or?
Well, I think the thing you're going to see is we've coined this little phrase which is No Limits Innovation, and that's about the hub. So we become a bedrock, we become the core of a retailer's journey, because remember, the common denominator of every customer journey is the basket. It's got to be the basket. There's no point in taking a customer on a wonderful journey and a wonderful experience if at the end of it they don't put something in the basket and pay you. You know, you'll go broke as a retailer real fast. So we see ourselves as delivering that, but then I think what you're going to start seeing from Flooid, which is changing the game from the old world of the POS supplier, is our hub partners are going to start innovating. We're already working with some universities, giving the stuff to college kids and going, there you go, there's a basket. What do you want to do with it? And I think we're going to start seeing more and more of that coming. It's not just going to be from the startups. We've got some very big, well-established partners around this show who are coming to us to say, so we could connect into the hub, right? And we're, yes.
Excellent. All right, so that's a good segue into talking about a demo that you've done with a couple of partners, HP and Intel.
Yes.
Can you fill us in on that?
So on the Intel booth, we've put together a solution which uses some very, very innovative technology, not ours. It's a thing called federated learning. It's very, very complex stuff apparently, but it's basically AI at the edge. And if you've looked at the Intel space, Intel have really started working hard on how do they bring compute power to the edge of the cloud. Because the cloud is fantastic in terms of being able to centralize everything and do some heavy lifting. But actually a lot goes on at the edge, and particularly in retail. The edge of the cloud is the store. The edge of the cloud is the office that you're sitting in when you're on your phone actually looking to buy something. And how do you do some of the things you want to do without having to go all the way to the cloud and back? So you end up with starting to bring the cloud towards the edge, which is what Intel have been doing. And as part of that, they've then brought together a couple of very innovative startups. We gave them our developer toolkit. We gave them a little bit of assistance and a sandbox to play in. And they've created a very cool solution which allows their system to recognize products as you run them by a camera. So no longer scanning or bringing up pictures of apples and bread and so on. You just pass it by the camera, and then they're injecting it into our basket, and they've done it without us writing a single line of code. I mean, it's
cool.
So powerful.
Yeah,
so
that's amazing.
Powerful.
So there are some other new partnerships that new partners that you're working with who are here at NRF.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about any of those new partnerships?
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few. The concept of Flooid is basket by Flooid. We're the piece inside other people's go-to-markets. So the IBM, for example, have announced a big initiative for their store in the cloud. Right? Which bit is the basket? It's Flooid. Okay, we have a strategic alliance with Adobe in terms of how do we bring the Adobe online digital capability to the store. It's Flooid again. We've got a relationship with NEC with their biometric technologies, where they've been bringing their technologies to us to look at the frictionless stores that everybody's trying to create. So there's a raft of these guys out there. You actually start to see the basket by Flooid as you wander around this show.
Yeah. What are your expectations? What do you think is cool that's out there right now, or what would you like your takeaways to be?
For us, the message we're trying to get out into the industry is think differently. You've got to think differently. It's an old phrase now, but it is change or die. There's no middle ground here. Disruption is coming. Be a disruptor. Don't be the person that is being disrupted. We're trying with the Flooid brand and the approach to what traditionally would have been point of sale, the basket. We're changing the dialogue. We're changing the whole conversation that we're having with the retailer, and they're starting to think about, so if we do that, we could do this. And it's about opening up the door to that disruptive element. It doesn't mean they have to change the core of their business. They can still have 4,000 checkout lanes running across their stores. They still need 4,000 checkout lanes across their stores. We can deliver them 4,000 checkout lanes. It's the stuff that goes above that, the disruption layer, that allows them to compete effectively or actually win market share in a world where it's tough getting new market share.
I love the concept of the disruption layer.
Yes.
I think that's a great place for us to stop.
I need to trademark that.
Yeah, I think you might. I love it. Well, thank you so much for the conversation today, and you have a lot going on at the show, so I'm going to let you get back to it. Thanks for joining us today.
Have
a great time.